Hey everyone, this is Chase with InsurGrid. I'm here today with Rob and Janie Young. Rob and Janie, thanks so much for jumping on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Got an insurance power couple here. So we have the agency side with Janie and then the technology side with Rob. Maybe Janie, talk about a little bit more about your agency, and then Rob, how you ended up starting Phone Home Leads.
Yeah, so my agency has been open almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in February of 22. And I started scratch. So we've always been really aggressive. We've always been early adopters when we found InsurGrid, but also on outbound calling and the importance of being aggressive and asking for the sale. And I have a great team that is fantastic, and we have a good time.
Awesome. And Rob, you've been working with Janie, and your background is in technology. So tell us more how you kind of recognize this problem that Janie was having.
Yeah, so clearly one of the big things right now is generating revenue and calling on leads and things like that. And what I noticed was that Janie, while her team was calling out, they were getting a lot of disconnected numbers and bad phone numbers. And so just being across the office, because I like working with my wife, just being across the office, I would hear that and I said, oh, okay, maybe I could solve for that. And sure enough, I did. So what I found was that a lot of lead companies, they were offering up an iPad and then selling the same lead to multiple agents. And in certain zip codes, you would have 5 or 6 agents calling the same lead multiple times a day. And that was generating a very bad experience for your potential client. And that made it very hard, especially for a captive agent, right, to be able to call on these leads. So what I said was, okay, we're going to assume that some people they purchased a home on a given date. That would be the home X date. We're going to get their actual phone number, their mobile phone number, and we're going to verify that that phone number is not on the do not call list, not on any state do not call list, is not a litigator, and that it's actually connected. And what we found was that Janie's team was able to make far less phone calls and get people, actually get people on the phone, which is everything, especially for retention and sub-producer stress. It certainly lowered that stress for them. And yeah. I'm able to do it at a far significantly less cost than what a lot of people charge.
And so you mentioned too about your contact rate. You're seeing agents who work with you have a much higher contact rate, meaning you're able to actually get someone on the other end of the phone to pick up.
Yeah, that's right. So we've been seeing at Janie's agency a 90% contact rate over a 19-day call flow. Wow. And so, yeah, we're really happy with that. And I think it's because we're so particular in which leads that we actually sell.
Obviously, Janie, you were the first customer of Phone Home Leads. And so curious, how were you able to implement it, at your agency, and how do you do it on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so Rob and I really kind of developed it together in that he saw my pain points of they were expensive leads, they were bad leads. So he kind of developed it around what the agent needs. So how we do it is he had mentioned disconnected numbers, getting rid of them, people that are on the do not call list, get rid of them. And so how we use it is I'll make an order with Rob about the 27th or the 28th of the month. So here in about 10 days, I'll tell Rob I want to go ahead and start calling on December. And so he'll drop the leads in his little platform, and then I download them. I put them in my tool with Allstate. It's called Lead Manager. I dump it in there, and then I rotate it between my people so they each get assigned leads, and we just call through. And to talk about what we did earlier, I used to require that my salespeople would call 100 people a day because you would get so many dead numbers. Now they don't have to call nearly as much, maybe 50, 60 calls a day to get the same result or better result, frankly. So we call them in, and then whenever we get people, oftentimes people are on the phone. So it's really nice to have, and by on the phone, I mean driving. And so it's really nice to have that InsurGrid link. So I can say, hey, no problem, at my agency, we're kind of ahead of the curve. So if you're comfortable, we have this company that we use with military grade security, and you just input in your login, and then it just sends me your deck pages. I'll work up a quote on your time and get it over to you. And they think that's wonderful. So it's really nice to incorporate both of those power things in one call.
And so when you do get the consumer on the line, what's like the first thing that, getting into kind of like the strategy and the art of outbound calling, how are you able to kind of ignite that conversation with someone?
It's really important to break whatever emotional barrier they were in, to disarm them. It's crucial to disarm people because they don't know who you are, they don't know why you're calling, they're in the middle of something all of the time. So it's really engaging and having a good tone and saying, hi, this is it, or assuming it's them. So like, hi, Marjorie. Yeah, this is Janie with the Janie Young Allstate Agency. Hey, I wanted to give you a call because I sent you out some mail the other day. You might have thrown away, I think it was junk mail, but I saw your home was maybe renewing in December, and I wanted to reach out and see who you have for auto and home insurance. And they say the company, and hey, great, that's wonderful. I actually just switched somebody over this morning. Let's see, how old's your roof? And then you just go right into the quote. You're engaging, the tone is great, and then before you know it, they're switching and they don't even, realize you were in a sales call.
Sure. And you brought up the mailers. This is really, we were talking about this earlier. Tell us more about how you're able to take an existing mailer list and then run it through phone home leads.
Yeah, so this is amazing. So we do send out a lot of mail, not every month, but pretty consistently we do. So it's pretty nice that you can download your list, or I could get that from phone home if I wanted to, or if I have an existing list or an old list, then I've sent them mail, but I don't have their contact information. So I give that list over to phone home that's already existing that he didn't provide, and he can get those cell phone numbers for people and then scrub them for us. So we only get the filtered amount of people who are okay to get phone calls, and then we throw them into our lead management platform, and then we start cold calling those. So it doesn't have to be data that he necessarily comes up with himself. He can find whatever you have.
And so obviously you get them on the phone, you start having the conversation. How successful have you seen introducing InsurGrid? Are people pretty open to it? Like is it a natural progression in the sales process?
It can be. So our goal, first and foremost, is to get that quote on there at the same time. If for some reason that we can't do that quote in that moment, then InsurGrid is incredibly important to us.
It really lowers the friction to being able to get that quote and that conversion.
Right.
And it tends to be a generational thing too. Sorry to cut you off, Rob. Generational. So the older crew doesn't necessarily feel safe sometimes.
Yeah.
Although, but the younger people are like, oh, thank goodness you have a solution for this, and I can get it to you.
Yeah. Awesome. And so, Janie, for your agency, Phone Home Leads works really well. What other agencies would benefit from using a product like this?
I think the people that are really going to go for this are the people that believe in telemarketing, that believe in outbound calls, that hold their team accountable, that are aggressive, and they're hungry to get more of their community insured and insured properly. So it's not the agents that are a little bit more lax or don't have a great accountability with their team. They've got to be driven. So people that are scratch like myself, people that want to grow and take it seriously, and don't want to waste their money. I think those are the people that would benefit.
Wasting money not wasting money is important. Well, awesome. Well, Rob, so you've been, building this product out. You're working with a lot of agents. How can people get a hold of you? We'll obviously put some stuff in the description, but yeah, how can people get a hold of you and start buying the best leads in the game?
Right. So you can visit my website, phonehomeleads.com, and we have a form on there. You fill it out, and then I'll get in touch with you. We can schedule a time to kind of talk about how I can assist your agency grow. Or you could also reach out to me on LinkedIn, and yeah.
Awesome. Rob, Janie, thanks so much for jumping on. Janie, you're you've been on a couple of times now, and thank you so much for all your feedback. And everyone check out Phone Home Leads. Great to use with your InsurGrid account or great to use without. Doesn't really matter. But thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day.